So today we're going to get started on Saturday, August 22nd of 2026. I'm on page 129 in our textbook. So we're going to start out and make sure we're in our Puppy Love Pampered Pooch account. So make sure you sign into your account in QuickBooks. And we're going to start off with these transactions that we have. First thing we have is a check number 10014 for delivery of Pooch supplies, shampoo and grooming products for $745.45 to Doggies Plus. So we're going to go to the Plus New, and we are writing a check. We are paying Doggies Plus. So Doggies Plus is already in our system. Oops. We're going to tell it no, we don't want to override that. I'm going to change my check number to be 10014. The payment date needs to be 8/22/2026, like the textbook asks. Category here is going to be Pooch supplies. Make sure you click on Pooch supplies, not Pooch services. The description is going to be shampoo and grooming products. And the amount again is $745.45. So just quick double check everything that we have. So we have a check number 10014 for Pooch supplies. So the category there is Pooch supplies for those shampoo and grooming products. Total $745.45, and the account, excuse me, is, or the payee is going to be Doggies Plus. Sorry about that. We're going to click save and close. We're going to go ahead and save it anyway. Next thing we're going to do is receive a payment from Greenway Kennels for invoice number 1013 dated 8/8. Check number 15159. Make sure we deposit this to undeposited funds. So we're going to go Plus New and then down to receive payment. We are receiving payment from Greenway Kennels. The invoice number should be 1013 for 8/8. Make sure the amount there is $220.50. And then it's really important that we deposit this to undeposited funds. So right now, if I didn't change this, it would deposit to Los Angeles City Bank. We don't want it to go there. We want it to go to undeposited funds. Our payment method is a check, and the reference number here is 15159. So that's going to finish up this transaction. So we're going to click save and close, because the next thing we have is that we're paying Sally $45 for washing the front window and door. Check number 10015, account category other business expenses. So it tells us the check number, so we're going to write a check. So Plus New and then to check. We're going to pay Sally. Looks like we're going to have to add Sally. Our payment account is going to stay Los Angeles City Bank because that's where we're writing checks from. Our date should be 8/22/2026. Our check number matches. So then I'm going to go down to the category, other business expenses. The description, washing front window and door. And then the total amount there, $45. So we're paying Sally $45 for washing that front window and door. Make sure your check number, account category are correct. And then instead of saving and closing, we're going to go to save and new, because on the next bullet point, we're donating $25 to Sundown District Middle School for a fundraiser, and the account category contributions. So when we start typing in Sundown, it looks like there are a few Sundowns districts in here. We want to make sure that we add Sundown District Middle School. We're going to have to add them, save. Again, payment date 8/22. Our check number here matches 10016. Category contributions. Looks like we're going to have to add that as an expense account. And then for our detail type, we're going to go down to charitable contributions. We're just going to leave the name as contributions because that's how the book has it. And then we're going to save and close that account. So now you'll see that that category shows up. The description, I'm just going to put fundraiser. And the amount for that one was $25. So we're going to save and close this one, because up next we have Thomas Sierra bringing in a large dog Kia for a full pet groom, and they're paying with check number 5811. Since they're paying, I know this is going to be a sales receipt. So here's our sales receipt. We need to see if Thomas Sierra is in our system. In this case, Thomas Sierra is not in there, so we're going to add Thomas as a client. We're going to add our colon once we do that and add in Kia as a sub-client. There we go. We're going to go ahead and save that. Sales receipt date should still be 8/22. Make sure you're still depositing undeposited funds. We're told we have a check 5811, so we're going to enter that. The product or service in this case is a full pet groom for a large dog. So you'll see that pops up $55 for us. So that's going to finish up this bullet point. Up next, we have another sales receipt. So I'm going to go to save and new. It's just going to automatically give us another sales receipt for Sarah Martin. So I'm going to have to add Sarah Martin as a client, and then I'm going to add Sarah's dogs. I'm going to have to add them both individually. So I'm going to add Joe. Maybe. So we're going to have Joe as a sub-client of Sarah Martin. And we're going to go ahead and click save. So that's adding Joe as a sub-client of Sarah's. Sales receipt date 8/22. Payment method in this case is going to be cash. So no reference number, but make sure it's going to undeposited funds. The product or service in this case is a bath and brush for a small dog. So that's going to be $20. Oh, take that back. We have two large dogs, not two small dogs. So we're going to change this to a large bath and brush. There we go. So Sarah Martin brought in two large dogs, Joe and King. So we've got Joe's information in here. We're going to save and new, and then we're going to add in King. So Sarah Martin, and then we want to add in King as a sub-client of Sarah Martin. Go ahead and save that. So now King's in there as a sub-client anytime we need to use him again. So we're paying with cash still, going to undeposited funds. We need a bath and brush, again, for a large dog. So this takes care of that second dog for Sarah Martin named King. So double check all your information. And then we're gonna do save and new. We have 2 more transactions for these bullet points for Saturday. The next one is going to be Gina Thomas. So we're going to have to add Gina Thomas in as a client. Then we're going to add Gina's dogs. We have 2 small dogs. First one's name is Tiny, so we're going to add Tiny in first. For some reason, this isn't working. So I finally got that to work for me. We're going to add Tiny as a subclient of Gina Thomas because this is Gina Thomas's dog. We're going to go ahead and click save once we get this up. And we're having a payment method of a check from Gina. The reference number for that check is 5795447. Our sales receipt number should be 1049 and 1050. This one is 1049 for Tiny, and then we'll do the second one for Ming. So product or service in this case is a full pet groom for a small dog and nail polish. So total for this one's going to be $48. We're going to save and new because we're going to add in that second dog, Ming. So I'm going to add in Ming as a subclient of Gina Thomas. And then we're going to save this. Gina, again, paid us with a check. The reference number is 547. Our sales receipt number should be 1050. And again, we have another full pet groom for a small dog and nails painted as the add-on, another $48 sales receipt here. So that's the last bullet point for Saturday. So we're going to go ahead and save and close this. And then we want to make sure that we check our account balances. So they give us this figure check so that we can check our account balances. So I'm going to go to the chart of accounts. There's more than one way to get there. Again, I like to use this accounting tab on our navigation bar to go to our chart of accounts. So I'm going to check my Los Angeles City Bank, and it looks like my bank account balance is off a little bit. So we're going to have to take a minute and figure out what is going on. So I've looked at my account balances and I can see that my accounts payable balance is also off by the same amount. So if we look at that register, that probably means I paid a bill I wasn't supposed to pay. And both of my account balances are off by this much money. So we're going to go back here and get rid of this bill payment. So right here, we're going to click this clear payment because we were not supposed to make this payment. So once we do that, we're going to go more and we're going to delete this payment. So that payment has been deleted. I'll see it's no longer here. All right, so I'm just going to go back, double check to make sure that that bill for Bonnie's Dog Biscuits is actually in my bill payments, and you'll see right here that it is. So you'll see that it has not been paid yet because I just went back and I got rid of that. So I'm going to close out of that, and you'll see now that my accounts payable balance matches what's in the book $261.86. I'm gonna go back to my chart of accounts to see if that fixed my issue with my Los Angeles City Bank, and you'll see right here that it has. So $46,846.22. Our city credit union should have $711.84 in it. And then check your accounts payable and your accounts receivable to make sure they match what's in the textbook. The last thing we need to do for this day is to run a report. So we need to prepare the sales by client summary. So sales by client summary. We want to report that report for the week ending 8/22/2026. Let me flip back. Let's see. So the information we had started on 8/20/2026. And then we're going to click run report. So here's that report. I need to export this. I like exporting mine as PDFs. You can export yours either way. So I want to save this as a PDF. And I want to make sure I download it and save it on my desktop or wherever you keep your saved files. So we're supposed to call this one CH06 sales by client summary. And then the date is 8/22/26. I'm going to go ahead and save that. And that's going to finish up the day for Saturday, 8/22/2026.